He saw me in a disadvantaged state. I felt violated.
It really made the hairs on the back of our neck stand on end.
Somebody is literally preying on people.
We've got not only a stranger rapist for one offence, but two.
I'd never felt so alone and so scared.
On Friday the 4th of May 2018, a 19-year-old woman was enjoying a night out with some friends.
The victim and her friends went to Heaven nightclub on Villiers Street, which is right next to Charing Cross train station in the very centre of London. Around 2:30 in the morning, she was feeling unwell and decided to go outside for some fresh air and to start to think about how she was going to get home. She used her mobile phone to request a taxi, and whilst she was waiting for that taxi, she was approached by a man. He initially began to touch her by putting his arms around her waist and asking for a hug, and then also offered to help her find her taxi and said that he knew a pickup point where the taxi would collect her from. The two of them walked a short distance from Villiers Street across the Strand. The victim did become concerned that they were perhaps heading in the wrong direction, and she did challenge the suspect on that, and he reassured her and overruled her to say that he knew the direction they were going and that it was safe and correct, and ultimately ended up in an alleyway called Exchange Court.
The woman was then raped.
After the offence, the suspect led the victim out of the alleyway and back onto the busy thoroughfare of the Strand. By this point, the victim was distressed and was crying. It's at this point that the suspect has then left.
I remember sitting on a step crying. I felt violated and embarrassed. I'd never felt so alone and so scared.
The victim told her friends what had happened to her, and shortly afterwards reported it to the police.
I had to report it because I didn't want it to happen to anyone else.
Detective Chief Inspector Chris Heathcote and his team began an investigation.
We were able to conduct a CCTV trawl and were able to pick up footage of the victim.
CCTV footage showed the victim walking around Charing Cross, joined by a man who police are treating as a suspect.
It seems that the suspect has deliberately taken our victim on a convoluted route, but unfortunately we weren't able to find footage of a high enough quality that we thought we could circulate the face of the suspect. Forensic samples taken were submitted to the laboratory, but unfortunately they weren't already on the national DNA database to give us a name of that suspect.
With no forensics, DNA or CCTV leads, the investigation hit a dead end. Then 4 years later, another case was reported.
On Saturday the 10th of December 2022, a 37-year-old woman was at a bar on Great Eastern Street in Shoreditch in East London. At around 1 in the morning, she began to feel unwell and decided to go outside for some fresh air and also to think about how she might get home. It was while she was outside that she remembers having a conversation with a man who then suggested that they walk together so that he could help her get home. The man led her to the Curtain Road area.
She was led down an alleyway where she was raped.
I believe he saw me in a disadvantaged state. It's pretty disturbing. You know, I'm somebody's daughter. He violated my space and my trust.
The victim reported the attack to the police.
They're both a lone male approaching a lone female at the end of a night out and trying to persuade those victims to leave a place where they knew where they were and where they had friends and go elsewhere with him out of public view. The descriptions given by both victims were also similar in terms of the age range, the height, the build, the facial hair and hair colour as well.
This time, CCTV trawls gave police a clearer image of the suspect.
And what that shows is this male suspect has led the victim away from the bar, but not taking her in any particular route. It's in a number of different directions around the Shoreditch area. One hypothesis is that this was the suspect looking for a specific place to commit this offence.
This time, forensic samples show that the attacker in both cases was the same man.
I think it's fair to say it really made the hairs on the back of our neck stand on end, actually, to think that we've got not only a stranger rapist for one offence, but two.
His victims' lives have been changed forever.
I really didn't know how to process it all. I had to just carry on, but underneath it all, I was falling apart. Whenever I think about it or have flashbacks from it, I feel like I can't breathe. I feel trapped. I don't trust people the way that I used to.
We're working closely with them and giving them the support that we can, but we know that what they really deserve is to have some closure by knowing that we found this man and that he faces justice.
He doesn't deserve to keep carrying on a normal life.
It's a human right just to try and get home safe. And it's really sad that there's an individual who appears to be getting away with this. It would mean a lot if he was brought to justice.